The coral reefs of the Bahamas burst with color and life. They protect our shores, support our communities, and keep our oceans thriving. But this fragile paradise is under threat. Rising temperatures, pollution, and coral bleaching are turning vibrant reefs into ghostly skeletons. Fish are disappearing, and the entire ecosystem is becoming unstable. Out on the boat, I'm reminded of how delicate this world is. Diving down, I saw some corals still bright and alive while others were bleached and fragile. The damage is real. Our reef and the people who depend on them are at risk. Reefs do more than create beauty. They protect us from storms, support tourism and fishing, and help sustain life in the ocean. Losing them would change the Bahamas forever. That's why conservation matters. Every action, big or small, helps protect and restore these underwater treasures for future generations. I spoke with Mr. Lindy Knowles from the Bahamas National Trust, who explained the work they are doing to restore reefs, maintain coral nurseries, and monitor marine ecosystems. He emphasized that these efforts are vital for protecting biodiversity and supporting the communities they depend on in the ocean. Here is Mr. Lindy Knowles sharing insight on protecting our reefs.
Are important to our islands because they provide a lot of space for animals to reside, which is where we get a lot of our food from. So a lot of fish, conch, crawfish spend time on the coral reefs, which are built on the backs of the coral animals themselves. And so we utilize those fish for food, primary consumption, as well as we take people out scuba diving recreationally. So you snorkel, you swim, you get around it, you look at the fish as a means of earning tourism revenue. How is climate change linked to coral bleaching? In a number of ways they are linked together, but the primary thing is really the sea surface temperature increase that is expected to come as a result of climate change and the shifting of the oceanic gyres, increasing the level of temperature of the water, which causes what is called a thermal week, where the temperature increases 1 degree Celsius for more than a week and causes the corals themselves to bleach. And over time, we get more regular bleaching. The corals become less resilient to the temperature changes, and like getting a fever, if you get too many fevers in succession, you kind of die because you're spending your energy fighting the fever versus thriving. What areas in the Bahamas are most affected? Well, in the shallow banks, realistically. The Bahamas, built on the very large shallow banks adjacent to the deep oceanic trenches, the shallow banks have the greatest tidal fluctuations. So in the summer months, with our clear water, the light penetrates really deeply and can really elevate the temperature in the shallower areas, resulting in greater coral bleaching in the site.
Short clip of a staff member from the Coral Gene Bank at the Perry Institute for Marine Science sharing how they restore damaged reefs. They explain how science and careful cultivation can help bring life back to these fragile ecosystems within the Bahamas.
I work with a company called the Perry Institute for Marine Science. In this company, we have a few departments that deal with corals directly. I primarily work in the Bahamas Coral Gene Bank, where we house corals that are susceptible to stony coral tissue loss disease. And we have them here as a storage for many different genotypes with a plan to breed and outplant. Some of the other departments deal with coral nurseries where they grow corals on a nursery, and once they've reached a certain size, they do outplants with them. We also have other coral teams that do coral assessments of diseases, bleaching, and even some damages that have happened to them. And we also have an outreach program with many aspects of ocean life and health, not just only dealing with coral itself. Coral reefs are very important here for us in the Bahamas. The country itself is surrounded by water, and we naturally rely on it since it's so close. It provides a source of income, whether it be tourism, which is a major part of our income here in the Bahamas, or commercial fishing. It also provides a great source of food when we know we love our fish. Corals are also very important as a form of protection to protect us from storm surges. So imagine how much damage could really be done to those hurricanes if coral reefs weren't there.
The reefs of the Bahamas are vital to our oceans and communities. Though bleaching and depletion threaten them, organizations like the Bahamas National Trust and the Coral Gene Bank are working to restore and protect these ecosystems. Every action counts. Reducing pollution, supporting conservation, and spreading awareness can help save our reefs. The time to act is now.